Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom. Brother Naquam, watchman for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts and another cold cut to give it, of course, all honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Mashiach, Malaki Bashai. Double honors to the elected elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting and laboring for the second coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai. A hearty, mighty Shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there on the highways and byways pushing this truth, magnifying the ministry, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sake. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there on the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent, and they're abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the Aquath out there, the sincere sisters out there, zealous, diligent, and on fire, and moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers. Shalom to the ancient men. Shalom to the children. Shalom to the elect of Israel scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. And shalom to everybody tuning in live. Nigel Blends, Don Israel Tamid, Carmel, Shalom Williams, Solomon McFadden, Kyoko Banyumyan, Servant 144K, Walena, Mayim Kaim, Shalom King, Vernon Brody, Benjamin Youngwolf, Shalom King, Shakar Ben Israel, Shalom. From Maccabees, Memphis, Topic, Amaziah, Israel, Shalom, Ak of Rectitude, and everybody else tuning in and that will tune in, Lord willing. Right? The topic of this code is so you want to be a leader so bad, right? So that's the question. So you want to be a leader so bad. So we want to touch on this topic through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmi Yahawashi because, we want to be in the spirit of patience. We want to be in the spirit of humility. And brothers shouldn't want to, seek that position or seek preeminence or seek authority or seek to rule over flesh and blood, right? Brothers have to understand that Yahweh Bashmi Yahawashi is the ultimate leader, and through him, and through his son, he's going to have preeminence, right? Pursuant to the book of Colossians, the first chapter. And a lot of brothers may come into this truth and they may see different camps or different congregations or different things. And, they may say, you know what? I want to start my own camp, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. I want to do this. And if things are all things of Yahweh Bashmi Yahawashi, I want to put that out there first and foremost. All things of Yahweh Bashmi Yahawashi. Some things are for your good, rather you realize it now or later. And some moves that the Most High allow you to make, that they're not always for your good, right? Some things the Most High bring you through is for judgment. Sometimes the Most High give man over to his own ways and his own lust and his own devices. So these things have to be spoken of through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmi Yahawashi. So let's go to the book of I want to kick it off with Colossians, the first chapter, right? To bring that out, right? Colossians, you have a lot of different splits going on right now. You got splits going on that happened with the brothers out there. Sakari, you got splits. The brothers just did a video why they split. I know the House of Saints split from the SOT. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. But through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmi Yahawashi, I want to touch on the position of leadership, and what that means, and what the costs are when it comes to that. Because just because a brother teaches the Bible and goes out there on the highways and byways doesn't necessarily make a brother qualified to be a leader. And you can't make yourself ultimately a leader. You can't force the hand of the Most High. That has to be set up by Yahweh Bashmi Yahawashi anyway. Let's go to 1 Corinthians. Actually, I want Colossians. Let's go to Colossians, the first chapter, right? Let's go to Colossians chapter 1, right? Brothers know the account of Cora, Dathan, and Abiram, Absalom, Adonijah, Diotrephes. You had many men in Israel that set themselves up to be a leader, but they were overthrown by the Most High because it was of the Lord, right? You read the book of First Maccabees, the 5th chapter, Lord willing, I can get that account with the captains of the host, with Azariah and Jonathan, who thought themselves to get a name, and priests that were desirous to show their valor, they were all overthrown, right? But I want to get this in Colossians chapter 1, and I'm going to start at verse number 16, right? It reads, for by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. all things were created by him and for him. So this is speaking about Yahawashi. Anything that you see or can't see was created by Yahawashi. It was given an order and the authority by the Heavenly Father, right? So Yahweh created Yahawashi. Yahawashi in turn was given a green light to create the angels and all of the principalities and realms and chariots and spiritual forces and the elements in this terrestrial realm that you can see. This was all given for Yahawashi, right? It reads in verse 17, and he is before all things, and by him all things consist, right? He's the first spirit, and he created all things. And he is the head of the body, the church, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in all things he might have the preeminence. So nobody has preeminence other than Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. A man can't exalt himself and say all men have to report unto him. Brothers can't, no matter who you are, nobody can go out and say, we're the guys. Nobody else are the guys. We're the guys. Nobody can come out and say that they're third under command under Yahushua. These things are absolutely ridiculous. These things are absolutely ridiculous. And, the Most High said in the book of Titus, the first chapter, that those mouths must be stopped, because brothers just say things, no matter how long you've been in the truth or what your rank or position or your title is, say things that's not biblical. Just because somebody says something, that doesn't make it righteous. It doesn't make it biblical. It doesn't make it in a spirit of integrity and virtue, So all preeminence goes to Yahawashi, right? In the third heaven, the 420 elders, they cast their crowns before Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. And they're the 420 elders, right? You have the host of heaven in the third heaven who say, holy, holy, holy. The whole earth is filled with his glory, greatly paraphrasing, right? In the book of Revelation, the 4th chapter. Right, so all honor and glory goes to the Most High. Philippians, the 2nd chapter, it says, every knee shall bow, whether things in heaven or things in earth, and things under the earth. All things were reconciled by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. So never let knowledge, wisdom, understanding, pride, envy, which is a heavy spirit, envy, vanity, don't let those spirits get inside of you, and now you want to exalt the gate and exalt the horn. Right? Don't let those spirits get inside of you, man. Right? You have to have a level of moderation. Right? Let's go to Luke chapter 22 and 31 real quick. Right? Luke chapter 22 and 31. It reads, and the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. And Satan will work on your mind, man. Especially when you first come in this truth, or especially if you're a younger man. I'm young, but there's brothers, obviously younger than me. Satan will work on your mind, man. A lot of brothers that come in this truth, you can remember a lot of precepts. You watch this, you watch that. You went out there, Esau kissed the boot. Maybe 10 people said something on the comment board to you. Maybe 20 people said that, something on the comment board, and it kind of got to your head, and now you're the guy. Right? You don't want that spirit to just hop on you, because that's Satan. Satan can actually play on your own pride and your own lust for attention and your own ego, and make you feel like, and make you see something that's not meant to be seen. Right? Oh, maybe damn, these people did say I'm the best teacher they've ever seen. You know what, man? I think I am. Right? Oh, you know what? I think I am the best teacher, man. I'm gonna show everybody else how to do this the right way. I had brothers tell me, look, man, we're going to pretty much, and for lack of better terms, I don't want to put words in the brother's mouth, but pretty much we're going to take this truth up to the next level. We got what we needed. We're going to take it from here, and not so many words, right? Brothers didn't say that verbatim, but that was the spirit of it. Now the brothers could come out and say, well, I didn't say that, but that's pretty much the spirit of things, right? And we've had brothers that broke off from watching for Israel not more than twice. Right? Not more than 3 times, and all things of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, right? You have, like I said, you have camps breaking off here and there. You got this happening. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. A lot of times, man, just for brothers, let brothers know Satan will play on your mind, man. Right? The Lord said, let's go to 1 Timothy, the 3rd chapter. Let's go to 1 Timothy, the 3rd chapter. So be mindful of that spirit. And again, you can't make yourself a leader. Right? You can't make yourself, and I don't even know why a brother would want to be a leader. Right? Why would you want to see? Brothers don't understand what it's like, what it is being in the position of leadership. right? Brothers want the fame and the accolades and the glory, but brothers may not understand what truly goes on behind the scenes. And brothers in position of leadership, they're going to deal with more demons. They're going to deal with more vexation. They're going to deal with more evil spirits. They're going to deal with higher level stress. They're going to deal with all types of stuff, man. So brothers don't really count the cost. You say, look, I'm going to go into position of leadership, but you're not ready to deal with all of the things that come with it. So you have to weigh these things in the balance, right? 1 Timothy chapter 3 and 7. It reads, moreover, he must have a good, actually, I want to start at 6. Not a novice, lest being lifted up with pride, he fall into the condemnation of the devil. So if you came to this thing, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, whatever, right? Look, I've been in this thing 5 years. I'm seized. I got this thing figured out. Been in this thing 2 years. I'm gonna show everybody how to really break these things down, right? Now, it's nothing wrong with having good intentions to want to do, what's right and set an example, but a lot of times that's pride coming in, right? The Lord said, not a novice. A novice is a beginner, a newcomer, a neophyte. Just because you came into the truth and you've been in this thing 3 to 4 years doesn't mean that you've gained the experience of what other men have went through, right? And there are men and there's elder men been in this truth 30 years, 35 years, 40 years, maybe more. Those elder men have experience. They have a lot of experience, man. Right? And that's something that you can't necessarily get from reading the book of Daniel, the 9th chapter. You can't gain experience in a position of leadership from reading the book of Revelation, the 8th chapter, and understanding, what these trumpets are and what this means and what this means. You're not going to get that, So brothers have to understand that when you come into this knowledge and the spirit and power of Yahawashi, don't rush to be in that position, right? Not a novice, because the Most High can overthrow you. A novice, man, he's going to be overthrown because he doesn't have the experience. He may have a couple of precepts that he begins to pull, and maybe a few people said things on a comment board, or maybe he taught somebody the laws and the commandments, but he's not battle tested, right? He's not battle tested. So not a novice, unless being lifted up with pride, he fall into the condemnation of the devil, right? So the devil, which is the spiritual demon Satan, he'll get into your mind, and then you'll be, what does it mean, condemnation? That's judgment, right? Con meaning with, damnation is really judgment unto the destruction or death, right? So Satan will hop into you, and then you'll do things in your pride that'll get you condemned by the Most High. But it's really the devil playing tricks on you and making you feel like you were something that you really weren't, man. Right? Let's go to the book of James, chapter 3 and 1. Right? I just want to touch on this real quick. James, chapter 3 and verse number 1. Be the Spirit. Right? It reads, my brethren. Like I said, you had this brother, this was, and I brought this out a long time ago, or I did a video on leadership, maybe 2 months ago, 3 months ago. A brother came to me. He said, look, Naquam, I want to be the general. I want to be the top general in the camp. And like I brought up before, we didn't even have enough brothers for that. Wasn't even a thought, let's, make a general, right? Things that are done in the body were done out of necessity and through wisdom and by the grace of the Most High. So we didn't have the need to have anybody with a title of a general. We didn't have enough brothers to even have that, right? But for you to come into the truth, the brother only been in the truth damn near like a year. I want to be the general. Well, you should want to, brother, first of all, you should want to stop watching pornography. You should want to master you reading. You want to get into the spirit of fasting. You want to learn the milk of the word of the Most High. That should be your mentality when you come into this truth, removing the sins and removing the old man. How you expect to be in a position of leadership when you're still struggling with low-level demons? If low-level demons are whooping your ass, slacking for the language, on a day-to-day basis, when you get into leadership, you're going to be dealing with high-level demons. High-level demons. Right? So you want to really, count the cost. So if you're a young brother watching this, or you're a brother, you thought you're thinking about it, this is to put things into perspective. Right? And I haven't been in the truth 20 years. Like I said, Elder's been in the truth, 30 years, 35 years, 45 years. You know, so those men, they know things too. You know, more things than I do because they have the experience, right? But this is James chapter 3:1. It reads, "My brethren, be not many masters, knowing that we shall receive the greater condemnation." Right? What does this mean? Be not many masters. A master is essentially a teacher, right? It's a term in the ancient world used for a teacher. Now, it's not talking about a martial arts master or an Edomite slave master, right? It's saying don't rush to be in a position of leadership and to be a teacher, because with that comes greater judgment. You're held to a higher standard, right? This is also something for brothers to wear in the balance. You know, you're going to be under the microscope and you're going to be magnified. And when I say magnified, I'm not saying your name being praised. I mean, the Most High going to put the magnifying glass on you, man. All eyes are on you. You're going to be held to that standard, man. Everything that you do is going to be critical. It's going to be criticized. Look at these athletes, man. Some of these athletes, they can't go anywhere. They can't speak. They can't say anything because everything they say and do is analyzed to the T. They make sports show networks about damn LeBron James and why did he wear this outfit and why did he say this? And, you know, look, man, that's a heavy lot to deal with, man, where everything you say and do is criticized. It's under the microscope and people take you, they're very critical about your actions and your deeds. So one slip up could be the end of you, man. You know, people wanting you to fall, all types of things, man. So be mindful that there's a greater condemnation that comes to brothers that are in leadership. So if you're a brother watching this and you are in a position of leadership, just know that you're held to the higher standard. And you may not get that same mercy and same grace that another brother may get, right? That's in Wisdom of Solomon, right? We brought that out before, but I'll bring it out again because that's one of my favorite chapters, right? Wisdom of Solomon, the 6th chapter, right? The Lord said, "For mercy will soon pardon the meanest, but mighty men shall be mightily tormented," right? This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6. And let's start at verse number 5. It reads, "Horribly and speedily shall he come upon you, for a sharp judgment shall be to them that be in high places." So a high place are brothers that are in positions of leadership, right? Rather you're third in command, you're fourth, you're fifth, you're first, right? You're second, you know. You got brothers in all different congregations, man, that in all different avenues in Israel that are in positions that the Most High have set them up. And just because the Most High set you up don't mean he set you up forever. Ask Pharaoh about that, man. And ask Nebuchadnezzar about that. Now, ask any man that's been in power that didn't do the will of the Most High while they were set up. Well, they were set up for an example. Just because you're set up in a position of leadership now doesn't mean you're always going to be in that position. You could be up here for an example just so the Most High could bring you down and make an example out of you, make a damn fool out of you. You know, so I don't know why a brother would want to rush to be in a position of leadership. You know, that's just me speaking. And I'm sure a lot of brothers that are in leadership that understand, they will probably say the same thing. I guarantee it. Right? They would say the same thing. The Lord says sharp judgment. What is sharp judgment? Judgment with pretty much less mercy, less grace, heavy judgment to not anybody, to them that be in high places. For mercy will soon pardon the meanest, but mighty men shall be mightily tormented. So if you're a mean guy, like you're on a low level, you kind of just came in this thing, you know, you're trying to figure out what's going on, the Most High will quickly give you mercy, like he did every single one of us when we first came into truth. And we were still struggling with sins. Some brothers, you were still smoking weed. You know, some sisters, you were still wearing pants. You were still freaking off. And the Most High gave you that mercy. You were mean. You didn't know any better. The word means base, right? In the lowest state. But that's not for everybody. For mercy will soon pardon the meanest, but mighty men shall be mightily tormented. So if you want to be a mighty man, you better make sure you walking with the highest level of integrity, because mighty men, they get mighty praise. You might get mighty praise. They might get mighty accolades. People might know, but you're going to get mightily tormented. The Most High will break you down. The Most High will break you down. So don't rush to be, I want to be a mighty man on the earth. I want to be like this brother. I want to be like that brother. Right? Well, you're going to have to deal with the judgments that that brother may get, man. Right? You're going to have to deal with all of that, man. Right? See, a lot of brothers, they want to be seen. They want to be known. I want people to know me. Right? Well, we want the Most High to know us. Your attitude shouldn't be, I want man to know me. I want to seek praise from me. I want the Most High to know me. Right? I want the Lord to understand me. You know? This isn't the time for brother, like what did Elijah tell Gehazi? It's like it. What did Elisha tell Gehazi in 2 Kings, the 5th chapter? He said, is it a time to receive vineyards, right? And olive yards and garments, man? You know, it's not time for that. But Gehazi had that covetous spirit. And he's some leper walking around today. You know, so it's not time for a brother to be seeking praise of man. Why do you want man to praise you so much? Just because somebody says something on a comment board, why did that get to your head, man? That's why I tell brothers, man, when you first start teaching, get off that comment board, man. Because it could put a spirit on you. It could put demons on you. Wow. Maybe, man, that Deuteronomy 28:15. I mean, I did kind of do my thing out there. They said I was a mighty guy, man. I don't need to talk. I don't need these guys anymore, man. So it will put demons on you, right? And again, let's go to Sirach, the 7th chapter, right? Let's go to Ecclesiasticus. So these are the things that brothers have to weigh in the balance, right? These are the things that brothers have to weigh in the balance. This Ecclesiasticus chapter 7 and verse number 4. Right? Seek not of the Lord preeminence, neither of the king the seat of honor. So don't seek of Yahawashi position of authority. Don't ask the Most High to set you up. Lord, I want to be a leader over a congregation. The Most High is not dealing with that, man. Moses didn't ask to be set up. And I'm going to get these accounts because prominent men, they never asked. They didn't want it. They fought hard. And hey, they almost got jammed up by the Most High because they was pushing back so much. I don't want that. I can't do that. Moses said, send somebody else, man. I don't have an eloquent tongue. Heretofore. Then the Lord said, look, I'm going to set you up. You got Aaron. I can't do it. Hey, the Most High snapped on him, man. What happened to Gideon? Gideon said, hey, look, man. Right? Hey, I'm poor. My family's least in the tribe of Manasseh. And the Lord called him a mighty man of valor. He said, look, that's not me. How am I going to save these people? So what leader in Israel asks to be a leader in Israel? That's the elect. Who asks? Who sought that from their youth up? There's not one member of the elect that from their youth up, they sought that they wanted to be over the congregation or over Israel. Those men denied it, man. They pushed back. Remember Amos, the prophet, and Amos, let me get the precepts, right? But let me read this again. Seek not of the Lord the preeminence, neither of the king the seat of honor. Yeah, because the king doesn't respect a man seeking positions of authority. Right? The king, it's up to his decision to take a man from a lower state and put him in a higher state. That's his call. And you're taking away from his decision, right? His discernment, his power, his ability, trying to force the course of a river. Justify not thyself before the Lord and boast not of thy wisdom before the king. Yeah, don't go before the Most High and say, look, Lord, I've been studying the book of Genesis, all chapters. You told the Most High I've been studying 52 chapters in Genesis. Make me king of Israel. I want men under me. A lot of brothers in Israel, they prayed that they could have men under them. Lord, please give me men under me, and I can show you what I can do. Right? The Most High is not dealing with that spirit. Lord, if you gave me 10 men under me, I'll show you. Right? Let me show these other niggas how to really run the camp. Right? These niggas don't got nothing on me, man. You give me 5 of these brothers, man. I'm going to show them all 52 chapters in Genesis. Right? I'm going to show all these camps with how to really break this thing down. How to really do this. Everybody's always trying to show somebody how to really do something. Well, Yahweh Bashmel Shah, he's showing you how to do something and how to be a man of integrity, man, and a man of honor and exercise humility. So I gave a few accounts about men who push back on leadership. Let me start with Amos, the 7th chapter, real quick, right? This Amos, I'm not going to read the whole account, but this Amos chapter 7 and verse 12. So when you read this account, Amos the prophet, he was prophesied against the king's palace, the king's court, right? I believe to Jeroboam, if I'm not mistaken. Now, when he was prophesying, he was talking about the city going to be destroyed, or hell going to break loose. And let's see what happened, right? Amos 7 and 12. Also, Amaziah said unto Amos, O thou seer, go, flee thee away into the land of Judah, and there eat bread and prophesy there. But prophesy not again anymore at Bethel, for it is the king's chapel, and it is the king's court. Then answered Amos and said to Amaziah, I was no prophet, neither was I a prophet's son, but I was an herdman and a gatherer of sycamore fruit. Right? I mean, I wasn't rushing to be a prophet. I didn't try to say, you know what, man? I heard the mighty acts of old, the mighty acts of Elijah, the mighty acts of the men that Noah that came before me. I want to be a prophet. A lot of brothers, they call themselves a prophet. I'm a prophet. Right? We're the true prophets of God. Amos said, I was no prophet, man. I wasn't even the son of a prophet. You have sons of the prophets, read 2 Kings. Right? The sons of the prophets, the 6th chapter, these various chapters. I believe Zechariah was a son of a prophet. Right? Let me see if I can get that real quick. And Iddo, right? Zechariah chapter 1 and 1. In the 8th month, in the 2nd year of Darius, came the word of Yahweh unto Zechariah, the son of Berechiah, the son of Iddo the prophet, saying, the Lord hath been sore displeased with your fathers. So Zechariah, his prophethood was well known because his father was a prophet, right? His father was a prophet and Zechariah was a prophet. But Amos, his father wasn't a prophet, right? He said, I'm just a herdman, a gatherer of sycamore fruit. I would just stand in my lane. I didn't ask to be in this position. I didn't ask to be a prophet. Who are you to tell me not to prophesy? First of all, the Most High took me from here and made me a prophet, so I'm a prophesy. That's what he said, right? I don't give a damn what you're talking about, right? That's pretty much what he's saying. Amos 7 and 15. And the Lord took me as I followed the flock, and the Lord said unto me, go prophesy unto my people Israel. So he said, look, man, I was no prophet, man, right? I'm just a herdman, a gatherer of sycamore fruit. And all of the prophets that were righteous, they all were also humble. They were very, very humble. Not a sneaky humble, because you got two types of humbles. You got the sneaky humble, and you got the sincere humble. Brothers may say, well, what the hell is it? I thought there was only one kind of humble. No, you got two types of humbles, right? You got the humble, the serpentine humble, the brother kind of, like the scripture say, hold his head down deceitfully, but he really trying to see how he could take your position. Right? What can I do, man? This brother, the brother real quiet. He don't say much, but he's really looking at how to take your position, man. How to usurp authority. Maybe he's having a counselor behind your back. You know, maybe he's sowing discord. Maybe there's confusion working in the dark. So you got that kind of humble. You got the sincere kind of humble, like Moses, right? Remember, Moses was the meekest man on all the earth, right? This is the book of Exodus, chapter 3 and 10. Come now, therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt. Right? That's what the Lord told Slaki. Let me I really want the 4th chapter, right? So the Lord told them to bring them out of Egypt. Now here's chapter 4. And Moses answered and said, but behold, they will not believe me, nor hearken unto my voice, for they will say, the Lord hath not appeared unto thee. And the Lord said unto him, what is thine hand? And he said, a rod. And he said, cast it on the ground. And he cast it on the ground, and it became a serpent. And Moses fled from before. So Moses said, look, they ain't going to believe me. Please don't. I'm not the guy. I'm not him. Don't choose me. They won't believe me. They won't listen to me. So the Most High was building up Moses' faith by showing him his power. The power that Moses was able to do, that was the Most High showing Moses, this is the power that I'm going to give you. And these are the signs to show that I have sent you. Right now, I want to jump down. Exodus chapter 4 and 10. So the Lord gave him the signs. Take the staff, throw it on the ground, it becomes a serpent. Right? Take your water, take the water, pour it out, it becomes blood. Right? Take your hand, put it in your bosom. Right? It becomes, leprous. Right? So this is Exodus chapter 4 and verse number 10. And Moses said unto the Lord, O my Lord, I am not eloquent, neither heretofore, nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant, but I am of slow speech and of a slow tongue. And his Hebrew wasn't as fluent as Aaron's or the rest of the Jews or the Israelites at that time. And the Lord said unto him, Who hath made man's mouth? Or who maketh the dumb or deaf or the seeing or the blind? Have not I the Lord? So now the Lord leaning on him, right? Now therefore go, I will be with thy mouth and teach thee what thou shalt say. And he said, O my Lord, send, I pray thee, by the hand of him whom thou wilt send. Moses said, please don't send me. I don't want to be a leader. I don't want to deliver these people. That's too much. I can't do it. Right? And Moses, don't think that Moses never been in leadership before. He was a prince. He was a mighty man. Read Acts the 7th chapter. He was mighty in deeds. Moses wasn't just sitting around doing God knows what his whole life, man. He was running things. He was a top guy in Egypt. So he's been in leadership before. You don't think Moses knew about that? He grew up in wealth. He grew up being a grandson of Pharaoh. He knew order. He saw these things, man. How cities are built and the structure, right? Architecture and military, right? And understanding and education. Moses knew that stuff. He grew up in Egypt. And he wasn't a nobody. He was a somebody. He was a big deal. So it's not as if Moses didn't know. He said, Lord, I'm not doing this. See, a lot of brothers, the Most High would have came to them, it would say, been waiting on this, man. I've been waiting on this, man. See that, Lord? I knew you was going to pick me, man. All right, where they at? Where you want me at, Lord? Where you want me at? And that's not humble, man. Right? That's not humble. Let's go to Judges, the 6th chapter. See, if the Lord came to brothers, and that's why the Lord don't deal with brothers the way that he dealt with our fathers in the ancient world, man. Let a brother perform a miracle. And man, the brother had to be to the clouds. Let a brother in Israel, right, that's in the congregation, right, let him get the power to perform miracles. I mean, actual miracles. He start raising the dead. It's all over the news, giving us right? He loosened the tongues of the dumb, right? He's going into entire hospitals, making them go bankrupt. He's everybody. Don't you know how many people would be jealous and envious? You have two things. First, a brother might say, I want to be mine, but that pride might get to you. You start doing miracles, that demon is going to get in your mind. You're the guy, right? The Most High is only dealing with you. Look, he's not dealing with nobody else the way he's dealing with you, right? So you got to be mindful of that. And also, envy is going to come with that. Who does this nigga think that he is? Remember, they told Yahawashi he's casting out devils by the prince of the devils. That envy and jealousy, he got demonic power. Brothers would be envious, it'd be jealousy, it'd be mad. Brothers would try to kill him, man. You know? One thing about a Negro is known for his jealousy and his envy. The brother will see you in a position of leadership or authority, and the brother would just be so upset, man. It just hurts him to see another man like him of the same stock and lineage and the same fathers, same brothers of the same nation. It just hurts him so bad. It vexes his spirit so bad to see his own flesh and blood be on a higher level than him. He just can't stand that. And that's these curses, man. Right now, this Judges chapter 6. And I'm going to read verse number, I'm going to start at 14. I'm going to get straight to the point. So this during the days of Judges, obviously, and the Lord appeared unto Gideon. Right? Now, this Judges 6 and 14, they were being oppressed by the Midianites. It reads, and the Lord looked upon him and said, Go in this thy might. Actually, I'm going to start at 12. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him and said unto him, Yahweh is with thee, thou mighty man of valor. And Gideon said unto him, O my Lord, if the Lord be with us, why then is all this befallen us? And where be all his miracles which our fathers told us of, saying, Did not the Lord bring us up from Egypt? But now the Lord hath forsaken us and delivered us into the hands of the Midianites. Imagine an angel coming with you saying, Look, you're a mighty man of valor. Go save Israel. The Lord is with you, right? How would you respond? And the Lord looked upon him and said, Go in this thy might, and thou shalt save Israel from the hand of the Midianites. Have not I sent thee? That's what the Lord told him. I chose you. Go out there and save Israel. You're the guy. Now, what did Gideon do? And he said unto him, O my Lord, wherewith shall I save Israel? Behold, my family is poor in Manasseh, and I am the least in my father's house. He said, I ain't nobody, man. Right? Who am I? Don't send me, man. Send somebody else, man. Right? Send somebody else. So a lot of these brothers, you see that they were chosen by the Most High. Gideon didn't ask. Moses wasn't asking. David didn't ask to be king. Solomon wasn't lusting for the kingdom. So you got to check your spirit. If you have those inner thoughts, now there's nothing wrong with having sincere thoughts to want to do what's right for your people, right? There's nothing wrong with having a spirit of being a trailblazer, for lack of better terms, having a vision, right? But if it's a spirit of I want to be seen, or I want people to know me, or people that praise me, so now I have to do this. Now it's a different spirit, because that means it's not sincere, right? It's not sincere, right? I spoke of David. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 16, right? And brothers, just wait, man. The Lord said, before I get that, humble yourself under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you, right? But it's a key part of one of that. 1 Peter 5 and 6. I mean, this whole thing, I'm start at 5. Likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder, right? Yea, all of you be subject one to another, and be clothed with humility, for the Most High resisteth the proud and giveth grace to the humble, right? Every brother has to submit themselves. I talk to elders. I get counsel from elders, brothers that are in the congregation. We have rank and structure, right? So every brother has to learn. See, one thing that Jake will never want to truly master, they don't want to master how to submit themselves, right? And this isn't talking about until the Most High. He said unto the elder, right? I only serve the Most High. Look, can't no man tell. Our brother said that before. Can't no man tell him what to do. Are you the Most High? I remember a brother said, man, what does brother say? He said that, damn, he used some wicked words, man. His brother was in he said, what did he say? Naquam Bahashem Amos. He said something like that. Some wickedness, man. Some wickedness, right? Well, the Lord requires us to submit ourselves and be subject one to another. If you can't learn how to be subject one to another, how can you expect the Most High to have somebody be subject to you? Right? Make it make sense. Here it is. You aren't moving in integrity, and you refuse to be subject to man, but yet you want to start and create your own thing, but you want people to be subject unto you. Well, that's what the Most High said. Be not deceived. The Most High is not mocked, for whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. So whatever you did in wickedness, or whatever you do in wickedness to usurp authority or try to get the preeminence, is going to come back upon you. And you're going to have to deal with the same things that you caused other brothers to have to deal with. So brothers have to learn how to follow and learn how to submit before they learn how to lead, right? And the Lord said to be clothed with humility, for God resisteth the proud and giveth grace to the humble, right? And he gives grace to the humble. Brothers have to understand humility, right? Let's go to Matthew 23 and 12. Right, let's go to Matthew chapter 23 and 12. It reads, and whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. Right? So there's no need, man. These are the days we need to be exalting Yahawashi. Hey, what does it say in John 12:28? Father, glorify thy name. Then came there a voice from heaven saying, I both glorified it and will glorify it again. Right? So we're here to glorify the name of Yahawashi. Who the hell are we, man? To exalt ourselves. Everybody got to check in. When you come to Baltimore, now before this might clip and edit the footage, right, and put the AI voiceover on it, right? But I'm being facetious. You know, when you come to Baltimore, you check in with the watchman, right? We don't want to see you move. You call us. You send me a text. If you don't send a text, I'll text you, right? We'll give you a call when you can come out. That's being proud, man. I remember brother said, look, man, don't come out here. You got to check in. Hold on. You got to check in with the so-called white man. Nobody else has to check in, but Jake has to check in, right, with other congregations before you go to a city that they may teach in. Where is it at in the Bible? But you got to check in, right? Oh, you know, we coming to, I'm just throwing the city out there, right? We're coming to Kansas City, right? Did you check in first? But brother, you don't run Kansas City, man. Stop exalting yourself. Stop giving yourself flattering titles. How are you the general of 5,000? It's only 3 people in the camp. It's 3 of y'all. Y'all only known each other for 2 months, but now you're the general of 5,000. You're the officer of 50,000. Where is the 50,000 at? You're king, priest, apostle. King, priest, apostle. Right? And remember, priests aren't made priests themselves. Aaron didn't make himself a priest. Eleazar, his son, didn't make himself high priest. Phineas, he didn't make himself a priest. They were made a priest by the Most High. So you can't make yourself a priest. And you can't make yourself a prophet. You have to be called a prophet. Even if you are a man of the Lord or the prophet, doesn't mean your son is going to be a prophet or your grandson is going to be a prophet. You can't make yourself a prophet. You can't make yourself a king. A king has to be of a particular lineage and anointed. You know? So brothers have to understand that you can't exalt yourself. Right? It reads, and whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. Right? Through the spirit and power of Yahawashi. Right? These aren't the days to exalt yourself. All hell is about to break loose, man. Right? All hell is about to break loose on the earth. Here you have economic collapse, shelves about to be empty, prices going up, people losing their jobs, famine is going to happen, wars on the horizon, persecution and Jacob's trouble, all these things, you see it coming to pass. You see it all playing out in front of you. But these are the days where a brother wants to exalt himself, right? Right? We're not in the spirit of exalting ourselves. Let's go to 3 John. Right? Let's exalt Yahweh Bashmi Awashai. Right? Let's exalt Yahweh Bashmi Awashai. John, 3 John, chapter 3, and verse number 9. I wrote unto the church, but Diotrephes, who loveth to have the preeminence among them, receiveth us not. And his spirit is back on earth. Now, actually, Diotrephes, he's back on earth, if you understand regeneration. Now, I can't say, well, that's Diotrephes. Right? No, we can't say that. I don't know who Diotrephes is. We don't know who these apostles and disciples and men are. Hermogenes, Philetus, right? Philetus, Alexander the coppersmith. We don't know who those men are. Demas, you know. But that spirit is back on earth. John the Revelator, John the Apostle, he wrote into the church, but they had this bishop, this man set up, who said, man, if we get a letter from John, we're not dealing with that. We're not reading that letter. And if you know John, you're not coming in this church. Report unto me. Right? Yeah, John, he one of the 12. Hey, guess what? I'm him too. So certain brothers, they love to have the preeminence. They just have to be in charge. They just have to be in charge. They have to be on top. They just have to. You don't want to have that spirit, man. I gotta be preeminent, man. I can't listen to nobody. What would the woman think about me? What would my wife think about me? Right? Who cares what your woman thinks? See, a lot of brothers let their woman get to their head too. Don't you know more than him? Hold on. Ain't you from LA and he from New York? Why are you listening to him? Haven't you been in the truth 5 years? You been in the truth 4 years? Don't you make more money than him? You bring it out way mightier than him. What does that have to do with anything? Stop letting your woman get in your head, man. Stop being emotional. Yeah, baby, you right. You right. You right. You know what, man? You know what? You should just start your own thing. You're mighty. You're so strong. Yeah, you right. You right. I ain't never see it like that. I ain't never see it like that. Why do you give alms? Isn't that your money that you work for? Where's that money really going? You should get that money back. Why he tell you when to go to camp? Ain't you your own man? I thought I married a man. Guess I married me a boy. And then she stump upstairs. You ain't getting none. Right? She shoved the damn covers and blanket and pillow on you. Say you sleeping on the couch. Right? And you put your head down and sleep on the couch, man. And you start working up with a plan on how to sow discord to get your woman back. Don't be a wicked man. Right? Don't be an ungodly wretch. I was going to make another point, but Lord willing to come back to me. So this man Diotrephes, he loved to have the preeminence, and he didn't receive the apostles. Verse number 10. Wherefore, if I come, I will remember his deeds which he doeth, prating against us with malicious words, and not content therewith. Neither doth he himself receive the brethren, and forbiddeth them that would, and casteth them out of the church. And he wasn't content. And certain brothers, you have positions of leadership, but it's not enough for you. You just got to be the guy, right? He wasn't content. He was already set up. But some brothers, man, they're not satisfied, right? They're never satisfied. They just have to have more. They just want to command people what to do. It just gets their rocks off that they could tell man what to do. Leadership is not about telling man what to do. It's about being an example for man. If you say I want to be in leadership, I can't wait to tell this brother the whole post. Man, I want to beat I want to hit this nigga, man. Gold post. Right? And then he run the whole post, and you like, oh man, that felt so good. That felt so good to tell him the whole post. Oh. See, a lot of brothers are small on the inside. You got to watch some brothers too that want leadership. Them brothers, they small on the inside. So them kind of commanding people what to do makes them feel like somebody. They're trying to fill that void. Right? What's the word? That they lack confidence and self-esteem. So don't tell them, brother, read, bring that out for me right now. Hurry up. Find that precept now. Brother, I'm trying. Oh, boy. Right? I needed to hear that. I am in charge. Tell me I'm in charge. Tell me I'm in charge. What, brother, this is off, brother. Right? You got to watch brothers like that. And Diotrephes, he had that spirit, man. He wouldn't even let people who knew the apostles come into the church. And you got brothers that teach, but, every teacher is not a leader. Right? Yeah, you could teach. A lot of brothers could teach. You got teachers, you got pastors, you got apostles, you got prophets, you got all these men. But everybody's not a prophet. Everybody's not an apostle. Everybody's not a leader. Just because a brother can teach doesn't mean that brother can lead. It's a huge difference between going out there and teaching the Bible and actually leading a congregation or a camp. Right? And you brothers that are over particular camps in sincerity or leadership, you know exactly, we know what I'm talking about. Right? Because a brother can teach, but when it's time for judgment, when it's time for counsel, when it's time for vision, when it's time for to get matters in order, to put the calendar together, to get feast days in order, to bear the burdens, to stay up late, to be there early, you know, to brothers may not know what goes on really behind the scenes. They just see men on camera. Wow, I gotta be on camera. Look at that. Look at all of those views. Look at that comment pool. I want comments like that, man. Brother fondling his necklace. I had him. I'm smart too. Right? Like The Godfather, man. I think I brought that example up before. When you watched The Godfather 3? Right? You watched The Godfather 3, man. I brought this example up before. Sonny was like that, man. Was that Sonny? That wasn't Sonny. That was Freddie. Whatever his name, Fredo. You know what I'm talking about if you've seen the movie. Right? This is right before he died, man. His own brother had to get him out the way. And that was wicked. You know, killed him on the boat. You know, he was going fishing. He was a fool. But he said, I'm smart. Right? Not dumb like everybody else says. I'm smart. Right? You don't want to have, what kind of spirit is that, man? You don't want to have a damn Fredo spirit. That's why he wasn't set up. Now, you watch The Godfather, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, brother, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Fredo was the oldest, or Freddie, whatever his name was. He was the oldest out of the Godfather's sons. But I think Michael was the youngest. You know, but Michael had a different spirit on him. That's when he was set up. You know, he didn't really seek that. He was set up. Right, and that's in that movie. Right, brother said he was older. Yeah, he was older. He was older. Right. So let me read this one more time. Actually, let me move on to the next precept. Let's move on. Right. So it's the difference between judging and teaching. Right. It's the difference between judgment or making and executing judgment and teaching through the Spirit. Right. Let's go to the book of Numbers, chapter 11. Right. Let's go to Numbers chapter 11. Right. You know, if you brothers that are leading cities, congregations, you know, if you see people in the world of sports, movies, and you see their craft and the success that they may have, but you don't know what type of struggles or pains or spirits or whatever, you know, those people may deal with. A lot of these top athletes, man, they dealt with a lot of failures in life. You know, they spend a lot of hours in the gym. They don't really get to see their families. They're always on the road. They miss their son's birthday party. They missed their daughter's graduation. You know, their wife had dinner ready at home for the anniversary, and he blew it off and made an excuse so he could, you know, shoot more shots in the gym and get his team that championship. He had to yell at guys. You know, he had to call guys. He had to, you know, hey, some of these top athletes, man, they had to really go beyond the basketball court to make their team successful. You know, it's not always what happens at camp, man. Right? It's not always what happens at camp and when the camera's rolling. Right? It's about, you know, the spirit about Yahawashi, what goes on, you know, when it's all said and done. Right? But nevertheless, this is Numbers 11 and 10. Then Moses heard the people weep throughout their families, every man in the door of his tent, and the anger of Yahweh was kindled greatly. Moses also was displeased. Right? They were lusting. Remember, the people were lusting and complaining about the food they had in Egypt. Right? And it vexed Moses. It reads, and Moses said unto the Lord, wherefore hast thou afflicted thy servant? And wherefore have I not found favor in thy sight, that thou layest the burden of all this people upon me? And it could be a burden, right? It could be a burden if you're in a position of leadership, huh? You got to deal with people problems. Their problems are now your problems. right? You got counsels, folly, wickedness, confusion. There's a lot that goes into leadership, man. All types of spirits, families. You got blood on your hands. You know, the one wrong decision could be the end all be all. There are things that brothers do in leadership that people may not even recognize, man. You know, and being in leadership is not about getting praise, man. There are plenty of brothers in leadership in WFI who do things that brothers don't even know about, that brothers don't know about, but it keeps things going through the spirit, man. But brothers don't reach out and they don't say, here's what I've done, here's what I've done. You just do what you're supposed to do, man. Right? You just do what you're supposed to do. You know? And that's another thing about being in leadership, man. Being in leadership is about keeping the ball rolling. And nobody may recognize and see the things that you may do, but the Most High sees it. Right? The Most High sees that. So if you're rushing to be a leader and you're hasting to be a leader, these are things that you might want to take into account. You're going to deal with high-level demons. Look at the demons Moses had to deal with. Look at the demons Yahawashi had to deal with. Look at these brothers that were in leadership. Look what they had to deal with, man. Look what David had to deal with. Look at all of these righteous men that were kings and top men. Look what they also had to deal with. So a lot of brothers will go into that rush to that position of leadership. Then all these demons start getting on them. Why is this happening to me? What's going on? I didn't know it was going to be like this. Yeah, you didn't, brother. Because you didn't know that this burden was going to be on you. Moses said that thou layest the burden of all this people upon me. So Moses, he was like, man, these people are too much. Have I conceived all this people? Have I begotten them? That thou shouldest say unto me, carry them in thy bosom, as a nursing father beareth the sucking child unto the land which thou swearest unto their fathers. And being in leadership is about you essentially carrying brothers in your bosom, right? Their families. It's your job to be as a father to a sucking child and to care for them. See, being in leadership is not just going to camp and pulling 10,000 precepts because you remember 5 of them, right? Or you remember 10,000 of them. And then you went to check the comment board after the video. And you had all these hearts and all these likes, and now you're a leader. No. Now you got to care for the flock. Now you calling brothers. Now you analyzing the spirits that's hopping on brothers. It's hopping on you. You're examining yourself. You're seeing what's going on in the body. You're executing plans and visions and missions and tasks. You're putting things in order. You're praying for brothers. You fasting for brothers. You know, you're counseling. It's not just I went to camp, I brought out 10,000 precepts. You got 10,000 views. The camera go off, and then that's it. Right? We're not out here to get view. Who cares? We fear the Most High. Right? We looking for this place to go down. All this YouTube stuff, all this stuff, this Clubhouse, this YouTube, this Instagram. Look, all of that is vanity. Vanity of vanities. You can't bring that in the days of evil. When you're a pilgrim on the earth, what are you going to go back and look and say, damn, I wish I made me another Clubhouse account? Damn, if only I had 20,000 views. You're on the run. You're in a FEMA camp. You're looking at a guillotine eye to eye. And all this was vanity. You're going to recall, damn, I was wasting my time. It wasn't sincere. I hope the Most High don't judge me for that. That was wicked thoughts to have. Damn. Right? Verse number 13. So brothers got to analyze these things. Whence should I have flesh to give unto all this people? For they weep unto me, saying, give us flesh that we may eat. I am not able. So Moses said, I am not able to bear all this people alone, because it is too heavy for me. And that, man, that make you kind of like, damn, man. You know, you know what Moses had to deal with, man. Here it is, 40 years in Egypt, 40 years in Egypt, 40 years in the land of Midian. When he was 80, he went before Pharaoh. Aaron was 83, right? He's in the wilderness now for 40 years. We're going on 40 years, right? So for the last damn 40 years, roughly 40 years of his life, he got to bear the burden of all these Negroes. It's too heavy for him, man. And that's what Moses said. So the Lord had to take the spirit off of Moses and give it to 70 of the elders. And that's after he followed the counsel of Jethro and set up captains of thousands, captains of 20s, captains of 10s, etc. Right? So I don't know why a brother would rush to want to be a leader. Why would you want that, man? Right? There's nothing. You're a servant. You're rushing to serve. And brothers don't think about that when they desire leadership. You're not like, man, I want to serve all these brothers. You're not thinking about that. Can't wait to serve all these brothers. You're thinking about, I can't wait to tell brothers what to do. I can't wait to check out the comment board and see more people liking the video. I can't wait to get more views up. I can't wait to get a garment, my own camp logo, my own garment. I can't wait to make my own YouTube channel. I can't wait to tell this brother what to do. I can't wait for this. That's what you can't wait for. But you're not lusting and desiring, I can't wait to serve all these brothers. You're not doing that. So don't act like you are. Right? You're not. That's what leadership is about. It's about servitude. Right? It's about servitude through the spirit and power of Yahawashi. Right? Luke 22 and verse number 24. And there was also a strife among them, which of them should be accounted the greatest. And you got that spirit in Israel now. Who's the number one camp? Right? You got brothers saying, where are those guys? Other people saying, where the elect. Other brothers saying, if you don't report under their general, you're not in the truth. Everybody else is a fake camp, fake Israelite. We started this. Everybody's striving to be the greatest. Right? That's what's going on. This is the same, and that's a carnal spirit. That's that Corinthian spirit. One say, I'm of Apollos, the other say, I'm of Paul. Paul said, are we not ministers by whom ye believed? I planted, Apollos watered, the most I get an increase. Right? You have brothers, to my point, they be like, I can't wait to wear matching shirts. You have brothers that as soon as they broke off, they said, look at our shirts. You like these, don't you? These joints are fire. What kind of spirit is that? Right? Come on, Israel, help us make our new logo. We're going to have the best logo in all of Israel. We had the mightiest name. We're going to be called we're going to be called the Mighty Lions of Zion, right? TMOZ, right? We're a TMOZ camp, right? And our colors, we're going to do all white, all white with a little bit of gold, right? And we're going to switch up the doctrine a little bit because I don't like the way they broke that down. My woman want to wear pants, so there's the doctrine, right? She's going to wear pants. And all of that damn nations can't make it. Look, man, I got an Elamite frame that hit me up. I'm trying to go to the bar with them. Hey, here's the doctrine. Elamites, they definitely can make it. And all of the brothers agree, and they all put their hand in the pot, and they all spit in their hand and shake each other's hands like a third grader, and they fall into destruction. Right? That's complete madness, man. The Lord said, and there was also a strife among them, which of them should be accounted greatest. Right? When brothers started teaching, talking about the WFI, we just went out there teaching. Brothers wasn't saying let's start a camp, right? Let's do this, let's do that, right? Let's put a camp in Detroit, let's put a camp in Trinidad, let's put brothers in Europe, we're gonna put brothers in over here. Nobody's thinking about that, right? Let's see how many views we could get, right? Here, you know what, man? Let's hold up, man. Here's how we could do. Nobody's rubbing their mittens. You can ask Yaradan, man. Ask Amos, man. Right? Ask Kadash. You know, some of the first brothers that was in the camp. Me and Kadash, we be driving the ocean. Look, we be in college. We get in the car, we drive to Ocean City like on a Friday night, man. Go do the work. We be back on campus, be out there for hours, 6 hours, just teaching. Through the spirit and grace of Yahawashi. Yaradan, we be in Baltimore, we go up to Lexington Market, we go out there, we teach. Just half of the time we didn't even have a camera. We didn't have a camera. Wasn't lusting to get a camera. Gotta get a camera, gotta be seen. We need an HD 4K. Put this joint gotta go on Tubi, right? Brothers wasn't thinking about that. We're not thinking about Tubi, man. 4K. All things are of Yahawashi, and I just leave it at that. Amos out there, me and him out there. This one, the brother Amita was in the camp. Kadash, Malachi. You know, brothers just be out there just teaching, man. And sincerity. Araya in the camp. Humble brothers teaching. Nobody, all things are of the Most High. So you can't force the hand of or the course of the river. I want to have 500 men in my camp. We are the mighty, what was that camp? The mighty lions of Zion. And you brothers that's about to break off and start your own thing out of envy and jealousy, you can't take that name. I already coined it. The mighty, what was that? The mighty lions of Zion. All you brothers that are proud and full of envy and strife and jealousy, create your own name. Right? So the point is, don't be striving who's going to be the greatest. It's already determined who's going to be the greatest. Yahweh. Bashim Yahawashi. Right? Let's read on. Luke 22 and 25. And he said unto them, the kings of the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and they that exercise authority upon themselves are called benefactors. So the Gentiles, they have people fanning them with leaves, feeding them grapes, right? Washing their feet while they stand up. That's what they do, right? We're not like that. Verse 26. When I say we, I'm saying Israel, right? Brothers should not be like that. But ye shall not be so. But he that is greatest among you, let him be as the younger, and he that is chief as he that doth serve. So you're rushing to be in leadership just to serve. Right? You're serving. How do you serve? Does it mean you're serving entrees and you're walking around with hors d'oeuvres and, oh, would you want to try the cheese with the crack? Okay, we got pepper jack. Here, hold on, let me go back and no. Right? What do you serve? You're serving, you're making your body living sacrifice to serve the nation of Israel, chiefly the elect of Israel, right? Through you building them up, through you teaching them, through you making prayers for them, right? Through you fasting for them and or with them through counsels, through instructions, right? Through visions, through all of these things, right? All these things are set up by the spirit and power of Yahawashi, right? Your brother says their camp already named that. I don't know, right? That I don't know, right? There's a now look, the Lord did say in Philippians, the first chapter, rather it's in pretense or in sincerity, I will rejoice greatly, paraphrasing. That's what the Apostle Paul says. So even if the word goes out and the brother may not be sincere, they teach of strife. Let me get that in Philippians. Some indeed teach of strife and envy, supposing to add affliction to my bonds, right? This is Philippians 1 and 15. Some indeed preach a Mashiach, even of envy and strife, and some also of goodwill. Some brothers go out there and just want to talk bad about camps, about other camps. You're teaching you how you're pulling out amazing precepts and great experience and great accounts, but your ministry is just strife. and envy. And then you got brothers that teach they're of goodwill. They're sincere. They want the sheep to get edified. They want to build up the flock, right? The one preacher Mashiach of contention, not sincerely, supposing to add affliction to my bonds. You don't want to be that brother. You don't want to go out there, you preach of contention, right? Even if you did break off or from a camp or whatever, something happened, you had to. Some brothers, hey, it's not some brothers that split, it's no fault or no. They may have separated from a situation that they thought was detrimental to their salvation, right? Some brothers, they do it for their benefit, and some brothers use it as an excuse to do their own thing. That's between them and the Most High, right? Nevertheless, don't go out there, now you broke off, now you're teaching for contention, right? You don't want to do that. If you're going to do your own thing, just teach the word of the Most High, right? Just teach the word of the Most High. The Most High is going to deal with every man according to their works, right? That's Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for that is the whole duty of man. For the Most High shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. So all of your secret thoughts and works and intentions are going to be brought before the Most High, right? Philippians 1 and 17. But the other of love, knowing that I am set for the defense of the gospel. What then? Notwithstanding, every way, whether in pretense or in truth, Hamashiach is preached, and I therein do rejoice, yea, and will rejoice. Right? So the word is going to go out anyway. Right? But you don't want to have that envious spirit. Right? You only want a position of leadership because you hate to see another brother have it. You don't even really like desire it and want it, but you just hate to see a brother have it. Some brothers hate to see other brothers. They did a video teaching. Why this video? This brother teaching it, I don't know, 5,000 views, and I taught only got 2,000 views. This brother got 400 likes, and I only got 150 likes. Who the hell does he think he is? Does he think he's smart? He think he know more than me? He think he's smarter than me? I know more than that nigga, man. How come he get more views than me? I know more. Then the brother say, I'm more sincere. Right? That's off. Everybody praising him on the comment board, man. He really broke that down wrong anyway. I mean, that was an okay breakdown. Don't be a hater in Israel, man. Don't be a hater, and don't be full of envy and strife. Job 5 and 2. For wrath killeth the foolish man, and envy slayeth the silly one. Yeah, and control that demon, man. Envy will have you hating your brother for no reason. A brother brought it out mighty, and you're envious. Like, who does he think he is? I'm mighty too. Don't have that spirit. If a brother brought it out mighty, say, hey, the brother, tell that brother. I'll praise the Most High, man. You brought it out, man. That was a mean precept. That brother might need to hear that, man. He don't need you bringing leaven and demons and being secretly envious, man. That brother needs you to exhort him, confirm his confidence. If you have envy on you, you got to repent, man. And ask Yahweh Shema Shah to get that demon up off of you, right? Ask the Most High to get that demon up off of you before that demon overthrows you. Before that demon overthrows you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah, right? Let's go to the book of Jude, right? Let's go to Jude, right? So you're rushing to be a leader. Why? Why are you rushing to be a leader, right? There's no glory in leadership. Right, for brothers that are in lead, there's nothing there's nothing that you should want, man. You got more problems. You're dealing with more demons. You got more responsibilities. Right? You got more. See, a lot of people, once they get in it, they're like, damn, man, I know it was gonna be all like this. That's how Jake, when you get them manager positions or them supervisor positions, a lot of people that had them manager positions, man, after a while, they're like, man, I can't do this no more. I'd rather not even be a manager. I'd rather not even be a supervisor. I'd rather, man, just kind of be in the what they say, be in the background, kind of play my role. And that's okay to play your role. So the Most High bring you up. If the Most High decides to bring you up, you don't have to bring yourself up. The Most High is going to bring you up, right? But let's go to Jude. I want to read 1 and verse. I mean, this whole thing is good, man, right? But I'm going to read 1 and 8, right? This is the book of Jude, chapter 1 and verse number 8. It reads, likewise, also these filthy dreamers defile the flesh, despise dominion, and speak evil of dignities, right? So you don't want to be a brother that has a filthy dream. Now, this filthy dream is not what you may think it's talking about, or it's not what some may think it is. A filthy dreamer in the book of Jude, and speaking about a brother, you got sisters too, but speaking about a brother who has a conspiracy of sedition in his mind and lust in his mind to rebel. That's all it's talking about. What is he rebelling against? Authority, right? And he defiles the flesh. He defiles the body. Don't be a filthy dreamer, right? It's okay. See, the opposite of a filthy dreamer is a brother who has vision, plans, and goals to help build the body up in sincerity. A filthy dreamer is the complete opposite of a brother who has his own mind and his own agenda. They also despise dominion and speak evil of dignities. Dignities are men of authority, right? So this is something that brothers have to deal with too, man. If you're in a position of leadership, expect brothers to despise dominion and speak evil of dignities, man. Everybody's not going to like you. Everybody's not going to accept you. Brothers are going to be envious of you. People may hate you, despise you. These devils are watching you more and more. You're more likely to get put to death, right? You're more likely. What did they do to Peter and James? They killed James with the edge of the sword. They said, oh, that's Peter. He the leader of the whole church. Let's kill him. And they locked up Peter. Didn't Satan, I just read the account in Luke 22, where Yahawashi told Peter, Satan hath desired to have you, he may sift you as wheat. How come Satan went after Peter? How come he didn't say, oh, Thomas, oh, Andrew, oh, Philip? He told Peter because Satan was coming after the leadership. He was coming after the leadership, right? And Yahawashi knew that because Satan was coming after him. So he recognized when that spirit was coming after the apostle Peter. So you got to be prepared to deal with that. You got to be prepared to deal with those spirits, right? And expect, unfortunately, people to speak evil of dignities, man, and to despise dominion through the spirit and power of Yahawashi, right? I want to get another precept in I believe this in Nehemiah. It's like I want to get this in Nehemiah, right? Through the spirit and power of Yahawashi, right? So don't rush to be in leadership, right? Just rush to serve Yahawashi. That should be your rush. To make haste to keep the commandments. Rush to master not having depression hop on you every day. Rush to master not being full of wrath over every little thing. Rush to master not sneaking off and watching pornography in the lewd hours of the night, burning in your lust. These are the things that men of God should rush to do, to build themselves up, to pray for one another, to exhort one another. Don't rush because you see another brother in leadership. You say, I gotta have that position, right? Who does he think that he is? I'm smart too. I know precepts too. I've been studying too, right? I can run this better than him, right? That's that HNIC spirit, right? HNIC spirit. If you know what it is, you got to check it out. This is Nehemiah chapter 4 and verse number 12. And it came to pass that when the Jews which dwelt by them came, they said unto us 10 times, from all places whence ye shall return unto us, they will be upon you. So this is when the Jews were building the wall. When Nehemiah went back, they're building a wall, and he said the people are going to overthrow him. It's like it. Therefore, this is what Nehemiah did. Therefore, set I in the lower places behind the wall, and on the higher places, I even set the people after their families with their swords, their spears, and their bows. And this is leadership right here. See, he set himself in a lower place behind the wall that was more susceptible to be attacked. He made his body a sacrifice. If the enemy came in, it was going to come in at the lower place first. So he said, you know what, man? I'm going to be out there first. I'm going to be at the lower place behind the wall. And all the people that can be in a higher place, less likely to be attacked, less likely to be killed, I'm going to put all of the other people up there and their families. Nobody asked him to do that, but that's the mind of a leader, right? That's the mind of a leader. You're thinking about the well-being of the nation, of the congregation, of the church, right? Nehemiah is a beautiful book for brothers that are in leadership or that, you're up and coming, right? Through the spirit and power of Yahawashi. Read the book of Nehemiah, man. Read about his attitude, read about his spirit, and certain things that he did. He sat in a lower place behind the wall, but then he could have sat in a high place, but he made that for the people. Verse number 14. And I looked and rose up and said unto the nobles and to the rulers and to the rest of the people, be not ye afraid of them. Remember the Lord, which is great and terrible, and fight for your brethren, Slakia, and fight for your brethren, your sons and your daughters, your wives and your houses. And he exhorted them, right? And he exhorted them that they don't be discouraged when the enemy comes in. So Nehemiah is a beautiful example of leadership. David is a beautiful example of leadership. The Apostle Paul is a beautiful example of leadership. Don't rush into something that you may not know what you're getting yourself involved in, right? Let's go to Luke chapter 14, right? Let's go to Luke 14 and verse number 28. It reads, for which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it, lest happily after he hath laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. And other brothers, they may start a camp, but they don't go nowhere, right? They fall apart. The men become reservoir dogs. They turn on each other. They thought they all agreed on doctrine, but they didn't agree on doctrine. They split up. Maybe they went out there. Maybe for a few weeks, maybe a few months, but they were going to run out of gas, and they ran out of gas. And the 7th month, you never saw them again, right? Oh, I want to come back. Oh, they went back in the world, so that's the trial of man, because the Most High sees what spirit you're in. If you if you did something in a lack of sincerity and integrity, the Most High is going to judge you for that. Whether it's today or a year from now or 5 years from now, right? The Lord said, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil, right? So just because the Most High may not have gotten up with you now, doesn't mean he won't get up with you ever, right? The Most High is long suffering. So count the cost, man. You want to be a leader, count the cost, right? And see and read these accounts of what our fathers had to deal with. They wanted to kill Nehemiah. The wicked Jews put a curse. They bound themselves by a curse and said, we will not eat or drink until we have killed Paul. They're about to kill Moses and make a new captain over them to go back into Egypt. So these are the spirits that the leaders of our nation had to deal with, right? They had to deal with all these demons, right? They had to deal with all these demons. Let's get the classic. And Numbers chapter 16. Again, this for you brothers that are, what's that cat? You're looking to make the mighty lions of Zion. I don't know if that's a cat name. That's a cat name already. I know you got LOZ. You got the light. That's the light of Zion. I don't know if there's a mighty lions of Zion. I don't know. Right. But if you're part of the mighty lions of Zion and you're watching this, don't take it to heart. Right. But if you brothers looking to make the mighty lions of Zion or the two olive trees, the olive tree of Yahweh, the two witnesses, right? You know, brothers, just what cat name can we have? I can't wait to break off. I need to learn a little bit more of that doctrine. Then we're going to break off, right? I just need that one more breakdown. Hold on, I gotta see how they run this little bit apart. Then I'm gonna take that. Okay, then I got it. I have the master plan now, right? Hey, brother, a brother do that, man. Right? Again, I need that one last cut, that one last precept. Okay, I got that precept, right? And I'm gonna start my own thing. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 16, and verse number 1. Right? Now, this is a beautiful account about this links back up to the book of Jude, where Jude said, "These are they that despise dominion and speak evil of dignities." Right? So this Numbers chapter 16 and 1. Now, Cora, the son of Izar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and On, the son of Peleth, sons of Reuben, took men. And they rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown. And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, Ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Wherefore then lift ye up yourselves above the congregation of the Lord. Right? So they said, look, man, we want power. Right? I'm an Israelite too, man. You think you're gonna have all this power to yourself? We all holy, man. We all Israelites. I know precepts too. It's the attitude of brothers. I know scriptures too. I know that breakdown. I need that power. Give me some of that power because I know that breakdown too. You ain't the only one that know that breakdown. You know that precept. Right? Don't lift yourself up. I'm just like you. Now, brothers don't know that you have spirits. The Most High deals with spirits, man. Look at the 12. He dealt with Peter, John, and then James. And then you had the rest of the apostles. You had Andrew and Philip and Nathaniel and all of the rest of the 12. So you don't know who's who back on the earth. You don't know who you may speak evil against. You don't know who's who. So they were looking at Moses and Aaron as just regular old Levites, not knowing that these men are the elect. And check out the humility of Moses. And when Moses heard it, he fell upon his face. That's humble right there. And he spake unto Cora and unto all his company, saying, even tomorrow, Yahweh, Ba'ashmi Yahawashi, will show who are his and who is holy, and will cause him to come near unto him, even him whom he hath chosen will he cause to come near unto him. And Moses could have been like, man, y'all look. You saw me split the Red Sea, right? You mean to tell me the Most High ain't dealing with me? I split the Red Sea. I got you out of Egypt. Them 10 plagues, I did that by the hand of the Most High. That manna, I'm the one that made it. Y'all was going to die. Or y'all built that golden calf. If I didn't go up there and pray, all y'all would have been dead. Don't you know the Most High? You know how great I am? The Most High was going to make a new nation through me. See, that's what a brother would do. A brother, he'll start flexing. But all of the things that he's done and that he could have did, and what I could have did this to you, I could have did that, I could have did this. I had this in my bag, I got this in my back pocket. The Most High gave me this. Moses didn't say none of that, man. And he could have. And he probably had the right too, man. Because sometimes Jake got to put Jake in their place. But Moses, he was so humble. He's not like you and me. Right? We're emotional and we're liable to, I mean, are we really going to fall on our face? You got all these people coming at you, disrespecting you, and you fall on your face. He's not like us, man. Right? The meekest man on all the earth. So it reads, let me read on to verse 6. This do take you censers, Cora and all his company, and put fire therein, and put incense in them before the Lord tomorrow. And it shall be that the man whom the Lord doth choose, he shall be holy. Ye take too much upon you, ye sons of Levi. And that's all he had to say. Look, you're doing too much, man. Because remember, the sons of remember, Cora was part of the priest. So they already had a high office. But sometimes, Jake is never satisfied. Right? Jake is never satisfied. So I'm not going to read this whole account. But you read this whole account, the Lord ended up opening up the earth on these men. Right? The Lord ended up opening the earth on these men. This number 16 and 31. And it came to pass, as he had made an end of speaking all these words, that the ground clave asunder that was under them. And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up, and their houses, and all the men that appertained unto Cora, and all their goods. They and all that appertained to them went down alive into the pit, and the earth closed upon them, and they perished from among the congregation. So that was the judgment of the Most High. See, brothers, they got to be mindful of that, man. You try to rush into a position of leadership, the Most High open up the earth on you because you're not sincere. Cora was not sincere. Dathan, Abiram, these men were the 250 princes. That was a conspiracy, sedition, wickedness. And the Most High wasn't with them, right? So don't rush to be in leadership. Remember in Ezekiel, the 9th chapter, when the Lord put out the death angels, it said, then began he at the ancient men that were before the house. So the ancient men got the judgment first. Judgment is going to begin at the house of the Most High. So don't rush into something that you don't know what's going on, and you haven't counted the cost, and it's not sincere. The Lord said, humble yourself under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time. And if you're looking for praise and fame now, you're going to hell off, because in Zephaniah, the 3rd chapter, the Most High said that I will get them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. The Most High is going to get you that praise and fame. Not somebody on the comment board who gave you 3 likes. The Most High is going to get you that. So if you're seeking it out now, you're going to get it now. If you seek it in the world to come in sincerity, you're going to get it in the world to come. He's going to give unto every man according to the fruit of their doings. That's in the book of Proverbs, the 1st chapter. So with that, we're going to close up. Give it, of course, all honor and glory to Yahweh. By Shema Mashiach, Yahawashi. Most High willing you were edified. Kwame Yashem. Shalom.